Kate Robb and Xander Cook together, plotting, scheming, taking down the Damaras, won the alliance, what we know. So let's start with the basics. What is actually happening here, Days of Our Lives has confirmed that Xander, played by the absolutely magnetic Paul, Telfer and Kate, the one and only Lauren Koslow, are actively working together to bring down the Damara Empire. And based on the spoilers dropping for March 4th, Xander's about to receive a serious warning as part of this whole operation. Things are already escalating fast. Now, on paper, this pairing makes zero sense. Xander and Kate have never really had a deep, meaningful connection. They don't share a tragic love history. They don't have a mutual enemy from decades ago. There's no long-buried secret linking them. They're just two people who've both been on the outside looking in, who've both done terrible things and gotten away with it, and who both clearly decided that the Damaras need to go down. And that, my friends, is exactly why it works. Because here's what I love about the best soap opera alliances. They don't have to be built on friendship or loyalty, or even respect. Sometimes the most electric partnerships come from pure mutual self-interest. You scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. Let's destroy our crime family together and sort out the feelings later. Kate and Xander are operating on that frequency completely. They're not pretending to be friends. They're not performing warmth. They are cold, calculated, and coordinated. And that energy on screen is absolutely electric to watch. To why this pairing is actually genius now. I know some of you in the comments are going to say this feels random, or the writers are just throwing characters together, and I hear you, but I want to push back on that. Think about who Kate Roberts actually is as a character. This woman has been a fixture in Salem since 1992. She has been married to more men than most of us can count. She has lied, manipulated, schemed, and double-crossed her way through literally every major storyline this show has had. But, and this is crucial, she always comes back. Always. Because Kate is a survivor, she is a legacy character in the truest sense of the word. And Xander has one of the most fascinating character arcs in recent days' history. He came in as a pure villain, cold, menacing, dangerous. Over the years, the show has done the painstaking work of slowly, carefully peeling back those layers. We've seen him fall in love with Sarah. We've seen him fight for his daughter. We've seen genuine moments of vulnerability, but he has never fully shed that edge. That dangerousness, and good, because the moment Xander becomes completely soft is the moment he stops being interesting. So what do you get when you put the unbreakable survivor and the reformed but not really villain in the same room? You get fireworks. You get banter that crackles. You get a dynamic where neither person trusts the other fully, but they need each other just enough to keep going. That's not lazy writing. That is soap opera craft. One fan on X said it perfectly, and I'm paraphrasing here. Kate doing Kate things is the most fun this show has been in weeks. And honestly, amen. 3, the mess they're making, and it is a lot. But here's where I have to be real with you all for a second. Because as entertaining as this alliance is, the collateral damage is going to be immense. And not in a clean, satisfying soap opera way. In a messy, complicated, why did you do this to people who love you kind of way. Let's talk about Johnny Damara first. Carson Boatman's Johnny is essentially being set up as a pawn in Kate and Xander's plan to dismantle the Damara Empire. And listen, Johnny is not a villain. He's a complicated young man trying to figure out who he is outside of his family name. Using him as a chess piece feels uncomfortable. It feels like something Kate knows is wrong and is doing anyway, which is very on brand for her, but that doesn't make it okay. And then there's Roman. Oh, Roman Brady. Josh Taylor has played this character with so much quiet dignity over the years, and Roman has been nothing but patient and loving with Kate, which, if you know Kate's history, is basically a miracle. Roman is going to find out that his wife is using their nephew as bait in some scheme to take down the DiMeras, and he is going to lose it. He has every right to, but wait, it gets worse. Because Kate and Xander have also recruited Ari, that's Marissa Reyes' Ariana, as an inside agent within DiMera, an inside agent who doesn't even know she's being used, Ari is operating completely in the dark. Which means the moment this whole thing comes crashing down, she is going to feel devastated and betrayed. And who's Ari's mom, Gabi? And who loves Ari more than basically anything, Will? Chandler Massey's Will is going to have words for his grandmother when he finds out she weaponized his daughter without telling her. And Gabi is going to be on the warpath. You do not mess with Gabi's daughter. That is not a line you cross and walk away from. The fallout from this plan is going to ripple through so many families, so many relationships, and that's exactly what makes it brilliant storytelling. The plot twist isn't just that Kate and Xander are working together, it's that their plan is already hurting people who don't deserve to be hurt. For historical context where we've been, let me take you back for a moment, because context is everything in soap operas. Kate's relationship with the DiMera family is long and complicated in a way that makes this current storyline feel almost inevitable in hindsight. Kate and Stefano DiMera had one of the most twisted, codependent dynamics in Day's history. She worked for him, she feared him, she needed him. And after Stefano's death, the DiMera empire didn't collapse, it just reorganized under new management, carrying on the same patterns of manipulation and control that defined Stefano's reign. So Kate going after DiMera now, this isn't random. This is personal history, finally catching up to a decades-long relationship. Kate spent years being caught in the DiMera web, and now she's choosing for the first time in a very long time to be the spider instead of the fly. And Xander's history with Salem's power structures is equally relevant. Remember when Xander was doing Victor Kiriakis' dirty work? Remember when he was the enforcer, the fixer, the guy who made problems disappear? He learned the mechanics of criminal empire management from one of the best, and now he's using that knowledge to dismantle a different empire entirely. That's a character completing a full circle, even if he doesn't frame it that way himself. This isn't two random characters thrown together. This is two characters whose histories have been quietly pointing toward each other for years. 5, the Bonnie Angle and Titan. And can we just appreciate the layer that Bonnie Lockhart adds to all of this, Judy? Evans' Bonnie being wrapped up in the scheme, apparently being set up right alongside Johnny, adds a whole other dimension of chaos. Because Bonnie is not a sophisticated player in Salem's power games. She's lovable, she's well-meaning, she's often hilariously out of her depth. Putting her in the crosshairs of a Kate Xander operation feels both comedic and genuinely dangerous. The fact that all of this is ultimately in service of saving Titan, the Kiriakis company gives Xander's motivations a very specific emotional grounding. Titan is his legacy connection to Victor. Taking down DiMera while protecting Titan is, in a weird way, Xander's form of grief and loyalty. He doesn't say it like that, but that's what it is. And that psychological layer makes his participation in this scheme far more interesting than it would be if he were doing it purely for money. 6 predictions and final thoughts. So where does this all go? Let me put on my speculation hat. My prediction. This alliance does not survive intact. It can't. Kate and Xander are both too self-interested, too used to operating alone, and too prone to making unilateral decisions that blow up carefully laid plans. At some point, probably right when things are almost going well, one of them's going to make a move the other didn't. Sanction, and it's going to unravel everything. The question is, who takes the fall? My bet is Xander. He's the one getting the warning in the March 4th spoilers, which suggests the pressure is already mounting on his side. If the DiMeras figure out what he's up to before the plan is complete, he is going to be in serious danger. But Kate has survived worse. Kate has always survived worse. She will find a way to regroup, reassess, and come out the other side, probably with yet another relationship in shambles and yet another city block of enemies. And somehow we'll still be rooting for her. That's the Kate Roberts effect. Here's my bottom line. This storyline is exactly the kind of risk-taking, character-driven, history-aware writing that Days of Our Lives does best when it's firing on all cylinders.